everyone, welcome back to another session of electronic device. In this session we are going to discuss about the capacitance voltage characteristics of MOS capacitor. Okay, so here we are going to discuss about three operating conditions of MOS capacitor: accumulation, depletion and inversion. These three operating conditions we have seen already in previous videos. Accumulation, where the holes are accumulating because of the negative charge applied at the gate terminal, and the depletion operating condition, a depletion layer is creating the junction of semiconductor and oxide because of the positive charge we applied at the gate terminal, and still we increase the positive charge. That junction between the oxide layer and semiconductor is going to be a inversion mode. That means the positive p-type semiconductor is going to become an n-type semiconductor. So inversion will occur. It causes some capacitor. Okay. So in these three cases, what will be the capacitance appeared across the metal layer and the semiconductor layer? That's what we are going to discuss in this session. And we all know the MOS capacitor structure is the heart of the MOSFET. The working principle of the MOSFET is purely based on the MOS capacitor. So try to understand well this one. And as we all know, the capacitance is equal to, defined as the small change in the differential change in the charge divided by the differential change in the applied voltage. That usually write dq divided by dv. Okay. So look at this diagram. Look at this diagram. So we know what is this diagram. Basically, this energy band diagram of metal oxide semiconductor. Okay, when we apply a negative voltage at the gate terminal, and this is basically, and this diagram is a differential charge accumulation diagram, either side of the parallel plate. Okay. So figure shows energy band diagram of MOS capacitor with a p-type substrate. For this case, when a negative voltage is applied to the gate. Okay, this figure is including an accumulation layer of holes, the semiconductor at the oxide semiconductor interface. I just read this. We'll see what it means from this diagram. Look at this diagram. We have a metal oxide semiconductor junction over here, and initially we know that the Fermi level of the metal and the Fermi level of the p-type semiconductor should lies in the same energy level. But since we apply a negative voltage at the gate terminal, what will happen? The Fermi energy level of the metal is slightly increased. That's why you can see that the difference between this level Fermi level of metal and the Fermi level of p-type semiconductor. So since we have applied a negative charge over here, it is slightly increased. Okay, so when we apply a negative charge over here, okay, we know what will happen at the other side semiconductor, and holes are going to accumulate because of the electric field appeared in the oxide layer. That actually leads bending of the energy band, the semiconductor at the junction of oxide and semiconductor layer. Okay, so at the same time, if I see the charge distribution over here, we are applying a negative charge. That's why this diagram is in below this line, below the reference line. Okay, and the positive charge is accumulated at the semiconductor side. This is basically the oxide layer. Okay, thickness of the oxide layer. So that I can take it as a TOX, thickness of oxide layer. Okay, so and here other side the positive charge is going to accumulate. That's what represented by this small sticky kind of this diagram, and the blue portion is actually mean by the differential change in the input voltage leads and differential change in the charge accumulation. If I made a small change in the gate terminal, the respective charge distribution changes also occurred in this diagram. That will be that would be at this edge usually. Okay, then a small differential change in the voltage across the MOS structure will cause a differential change in the charge on the metal gate and also in the whole accumulation charge. So whole accumulation charge also going to increase if we are increasing a small voltage at the gate terminal. So basically what does it mean? If I increase the negative voltage, if I make a small change in the input voltage, the respective change going to happen in the charge distribution in either side of the oxide. Okay, that's what this diagram says. And the capacitor equation, and I can mention ACC, that stands for accumulation. This is the process of accumulation. Anyway, positive charges are going to accumulate over here. Okay, that is actually shown here, right? Accumulation of holes also shown here, and that basically is equal to permittivity of this oxide layer divided by the thickness of oxide layer. So we can calculate the capacitance using this expression. So this is actually happening in the accumulation mode of operation. Okay, and we are moving to the next one. The figure shows the energy band diagram of MOS device when small positive voltage is applied to the gate. Okay, so here positive voltages are going to apply, and when we apply a positive voltage, definitely the depletion layer will appear in the junction, at the junction of oxide and semiconductor layer. Okay, so you just have a look at here. The Fermi level of metal is reduced compared to the previous diagram because we are applying a positive charge over here. So it is reduced when compared to the p-type semiconductor Fermi level. Okay, automatically there will be a bend of the band diagram towards down. Okay, and the depletion layer is created, that width of the depletion rail mentioned using the term XD. The similar time when we look at the charge distribution, and at the metal side we are applying a positive charges, positive voltage, so positive charge will accumulate, and at the semiconductor side you see the positive charge is reduced and the negative ions are accumulated in the depletion region. That is why this is represented like this, and small differential change in the input will leads to the increase of or increment of depletion region. If I increase the positive charge furthermore, the depletion region going to increase more, and similar way the positive charge accumulating in the metal side is also going to change. So small differential change in the voltage across the capacitor cause differential change in the space charge width, nothing but the depletion charge width. If I increase slightly positive voltage at the metal terminal, what will happen? That the depletion region width is also going to increase slightly. If I reduce the positive charge, the depletion region width is going to reduce. The small differential change either in positive way or negative way, I mean even if increasing or decreasing, that will affect the width of space charge region. Okay, the oxide capacitance and the capacitance of the depletion region are in series. And what is the other difference compared to that? Before in the previous diagram, the capacitance only because of the oxide layer, but here the capacitance is because of the oxide layer as well as because of the depletion region. Okay, so here there will be capacitance because of the oxide layer and there will be capacitance because of the depletion region. Those are in parallel. So once two capacitors are in parallel, okay, the effective capacitance always going to be less than the minimum value of one among them. Okay, so careful, the total capacitor, if this is actually oxide layer, if I take C what is the textbook notation we see, CSD, yes, CSD, and see, this is actually COX. This is COX. The capacitor offering by this oxide layer is COX, and capacitor offering by the depletion region I write CSD. Okay, and the total capacitance, this is in series, right? Since it is series, the total capacitance is equal to, that is 1 by C. This is basically depletion. We write depletion, that is equal to 1 by COX plus 1 by CSD. We know this, when the two capacitors are in series, that effective capacitance, how to calculate the effective capacitance, we know that. Okay, so look at this equations. Total capacitance of the series combination is this capacitor because of the oxide layer, and this is because of the depletion layer. So I'll get like this, and we know that the COX, the capacitor because of the oxide layer, we already know the permittibility of the oxide divided by the thickness of oxide. Similar way, if I consider the capacitance of the depletion region gives the permittibility of the semiconductor divided by the thickness of this depletion layer. So I am going to substitute those value over here, and slightly I am modifying. I will be getting like this. Okay, so I am going to substitute this expression for COX and this expression for CSD. Okay, and this is all mathematical rearrangement, you can easily understand. Okay, and depletion layer is created. Just assume depletion layer is created, and I am keep on increasing the positive voltage and again. My question is whether the depletion region will encroach more into this p-type semiconductor, whether it will continue infinite time duration. But the answer is no, it never goes to infinite time period. Okay, after some time the formation of depletion region going to stop, and slowly slowly the inversion of the p-type semiconductor going to start. Inversion of the p-type semiconductor going to happen at the junction of oxide and the semiconductor layer. There is no more further increment of depletion region, and whatever the positive voltage you are keep incrementing, what will happen, depletion layer will not grow again. Instead of that, at the junction of the oxide layer and semiconductor layer, the p-type material slowly going to change the characteristics, and it going to become a n-type semiconductor. The electrons are going to be majority charge carriers near to that junction, oxide and semiconductor junction, and that exactly that point is known as threshold inversion point. What do you mean by the threshold inversion point? Right, I have applied a positive voltage, depletion region is created, I slightly incremented the positive charges, depletion region is start growing slowly, and again I am incremented the positive voltage, depletion layer is again start growing and again is growing. Finally it reaches its maximum. Okay, the voltage at which the depletion region width is get maximum, and if I make a small change in the positive voltage, again what will happen, the inversion is going to happen. The point at which the maximum depletion width is reached, but there is zero inversion charge density. Okay, inversion is not started, but the depletion region has reached its maximum width. That particular positive voltage is known as threshold inversion point. At the particular point of time, there is some capacitor will be there across the MOS capacitor. That capacitance we usually named as C dash minimum. I hope you understand the threshold inversion point. It's a very important concept. Okay, threshold inversion point is nothing but we are applying a positive voltage to the gate terminal, and depletion region is depletion region is created, and I am keep increasing the positive voltage. Depletion region is growing, and again I am increasing the positive voltage, again it's growing, and at particular point of positive voltage, what will happen at the depletion region side, it not going to grow again, but at the junction of the oxide and semiconductor, the semiconductor material is slowly going to invert, and it become a n type material. Okay, the point at which the depletion width is maximum, at the same time zero inversion charge density at the junction. That particular positive voltage is known as threshold inversion point. At the particular time, there will be a capacitance between two parallel plates. Okay, that capacitor is known as C minimum. That usually we mentioned that C minimum is equal to just we write a T over here. That's all. That's what this expression says. That means the depletion region is maximum, and furthermore I increase the positive voltage, the inversion going to takes place. But at this threshold inversion point, the inversion charge density will be 0 and the depletion region width become maximum. Okay. Okay, now we are increasing the positive voltage again. We are increasing the positive voltage beyond the threshold inversion point. What will happen? The growth of depletion region going to stop, but what will happen? The inversion of the semiconductor at the junction is going to start slowly. Okay, so small increment change in the voltage across the MOS capacitor will cause differential change in the inversion layer charge density, but not at the depletion layer width. Okay, further if you are increasing the positive voltage, don't think the depletion region is going to be more widened. Depletion region is not going to be more widened, but the positive charge is used for actually what purpose? For the inversion of the semiconductor near to the junction between oxide and semiconductor layer. And now you see the capacitance simply because of this oxide layer. Okay, whatever the voltage you are applying after the inversion point, okay, the short inversion point, it never affect on the depletion region, right? The capacitance is only because of this oxide thickness, not depends on the depletion region in this case. Okay, so that's what the space charge width does not change, still we incrementing the positive charges. This is actually the three modes of operation of MOS capacitor. One is accumulation, second one is depletion, third one is inversion. Okay, in these three cases, what would be the capacitance? Okay, so first case in the accumulation and the final stage inversion, the capacitance only because of the permeability of oxide divided by the thickness of oxide. But in the case of depletion mode of operation, the capacitance because of the oxide and capacitance because of the depletion region are in a series. So the equivalent capacitance will be the total capacitance across the MOS capacitor. Okay, and when we draw these three conditions together, we will get this diagram. This diagram basically says what? Voltage and capacitance. In x axis you are applying a gate voltage, and y axis the capacitance. And before I explain this, I would like to mention one more point. At this diagram, if I increase this depletion region width, okay, uh, there is no T, there is no T now, there is no T, it's not reached at the threshold point, don't confuse, not reached the threshold point. Okay, so if I increase this XD value, what will happen to this C depletion, the capacitance? If I increase this depletion region, as on increasing the depletion region, the capacitance and depletion region is going to reduce. Okay, so keep increasing the depletion region. Keep increasing the depletion region means what? I am incrementing the positive voltage at the terminal, gate terminal. If I slowly increase the positive voltage at the gate terminal, depletion region going to be wider more, the equivalent capacitance is also going to reduce. So that same concept I need it over here. At accumulation, we know the positive charges is there in the metal side, and negative charge is there in the metal side and positive charge is there in that semiconductor side. The capacitance will be maximum. So you'll get a capacitor like this, right? At the same time, if you remember that band diagram, the band is something like this, right? This is a conduction band, okay, and this is my intrinsic, and this is intrinsic Fermi level, that is Fermi level I, and this is my Fermi level, it will not change, and my valence band something like this, right, semiconductor side. And now a negative voltage is applied, and if I reduce the negative voltage at in the side of gate terminal, what will happen? This bending going to be straight. Okay, what will happen? I have applied a negative 4 voltage, so I'll get a bend. Now I reduce 3, I reduce 2, I reduce 1. What will happen to this bending? The bending is going to be straight. If I apply 0 voltage, the bending will be straight. So this is actually we call as a flat band. Okay, so the capacitor, and just assume this is the voltage, I am getting a flat band, something not at 0, somewhere at very small negative voltage I will get the flat band. Flat band means the band is something like this. Okay, this is a valence band and this is conduction band, and I will get a Fermi level, There is no bending of energy band, that is a flat band. Somewhere here if I apply a small voltage, negative voltage, I will get a capacitor, I will get a flat band, and respectively there will be small capacitance. Okay, not small, there will be capacitance. We will see the expression for that. There is one expression, I am going to write the expression directly, not interested in deriving that. Okay, now positive negative voltage is reduced, I reach 0, and I got what is going to happen at the capacitance value? The capacitance value is going to reduce as on reducing the negative voltage, and now I reach a positive 1 voltage. What will happen? Capacitor is again capacitance is again going to reduce because of the depletion rail is created, and I increase the positive voltage to what will happen? Depletion width is more wider. As on increasing the depletion width, the depletion capacitor is going to reduce, and if I increase this 3, 4, 5 gradually, the capacitor is reduced, and once it become a threshold voltage, the depletion region not going to enlarge again or grow again, and further incrementing of the voltage, what will happen? The inversion going to happen. Inversion going to happen means the electron is going to accumulate at the junction of semiconductor and oxide. So what will happen? Slowly the capacitance is going to increase, and if I apply a large positive voltage, capacitor value going to be same as the accumulation capacitance value. So this will be the capacitance and the voltage diagram of MOS capacitance, and this dotted line basically gives COX, ST and C minimum. We know this what exactly COX and the CSD and the Z minimum. C minimum, we know that, okay. And this blue line basically gives the net capacitance. So capacitor profile look like this, okay. So if we continue, this is the expression for the flat band capacitor. It's up to you. If you want to remember, you can remember, you can mention in the examination, otherwise okay, no problem, okay. So flat band condition, okay. The moderate inversion is the transition region between the point when only the space charge density changes with gate voltage and when only the inversion charge density change with gate voltage. What does it mean? This region, this moderate inversion, okay. The moderate inversion is a transition region between these 2 points, anyway, okay. Transition region between these 2 points. And what is this point exactly? What is this point? Only the space charge density changing with the gate voltage, okay. So at particular time, even if we increase the gate voltage, the space charge density is not going to change, okay. Only when the inversion charge density changes with the gate voltage, okay. Further incrementing of the positive voltage, space charge density not going to increment, only the inversion charge density going to increment. So that region between those 2 points is exactly known as moderate inversion and that expression. And now we are moving into the frequency effect. The frequency effect is again important things in most capacitance. Here so far we have applied only the DC voltage to the the MOS capacitor. Here if we apply a AC signal to the gate terminal, what will happen? Okay, that's what we are going to see in the frequency effect. So let's read this. Consider the source of electron that produce a change in the inversion charge density, okay. I told you previously, if I apply more positive voltage, the inversion going to happen at the junction between or junction of oxide and semiconductor layer, okay. And inversion means the p-type semiconductor is gradually become a n-type semiconductor. If any material becoming an n-type material, the majority charge carrier should be electrons, okay. How the electrons are generating at the junction? There are two sources, okay. The first source is diffusion of minority carrier electrons from the p-type substrate across the space charge. Very simple. We have a p-type semiconductor. P-type semiconductor majority charge carriers are holes. Definitely there will be a minority charge carriers, that is our electron, okay. When we keep incrementing the positive charge, what will happen? Okay, the electric field, direction of the electric field is actually towards this semiconductor. Just assume this is my junction between oxide and semiconductor, right? So definitely the electron will move opposite the direction of electric field. So the chances of getting electron is because of this reason, okay. Diffusion of minority charge carriers form the p-type substrate across the space charge region, okay. And second region is normally the thermal generation of electron hole pairs. There may be some chances of separating the electron hole pairs within the space charge region. That is also a reason of inversion, okay. So these are the two sources of electron at a high positive voltage at the gate terminal. And one more thing I would like to say, if I am applying a continuous AC signal, that means voltage is varying from negative to positive, positive to negative, negative to positive, positive to negative gradually. That's what the AC signal, right? So the positive charge is initially zero and gradually increases, it will reach a maximum and it is reduced and is again. So if I apply a high frequency signal to the MOS capacitance, even if the peak amplitude is highly positive voltage, and what will happen here, that high positive voltage is not going to affect the inversion of the material, but it will affect on further growing of depletion region. Okay, this is the effect of high frequency signal at the gate terminal. Okay, what we learned previously, if I increment the positive charge greater and greater at particular point of time, the growing of depletion region will stop and the inversion of the material going to start. Okay, but if you are applying high frequency signal with a large amplitude, it is going to affect the MOS capacitor in some different way. It never going to affect on the inversion of the material, it is going to affect on the depletion region widening again. Depletion region widening again. So what will happen to the capacitor if the depletion region is widening again? The capacitor value going to be reduced. Okay, it won't increase like the previous cases. Okay, initially if the low frequency, it may increase like this, but in the high frequency signal, it will reduce at the inversion, because that high frequency signal will change the width of the depletion region furthermore. That's what I explained here. If AC voltage is across the MOS capacitor changes rapidly, the change in the inversion layer will not be able to respond. Okay, at a high frequency, the inversion layer charge will not be respond to the differential change in the capacitor voltage. At high frequency, the differential change in the charge occurs at the metal and the space charge width in the semiconductor. Okay, so the capacitance of the MOS capacitor is then C minimum. This is the effect of frequency in the MOS capacitor. Thank you.